everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed caption. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones that already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, everyone. So on my last tutorial, I had created this beautiful pineapple doily. If you create 2 and you attach them at the end, you can make a big table runner. Now, there has been a lot of requests for seat covers of pineapple. I haven't done one yet, and I'm going to attempt to create one since it's such a high demand on these chair covers. So what you want to do is you want to create your pineapples first for whatever amount of chairs you have. And you will need, depending also on the thread you're using, you have to measure your chair from side to side. So basically you would need to measure your chair on top and for the length, because the base of the chair cover is what's going to be the size of your chairs. The pineapples will be afterwards, when I'm done the base. This will be glued on with hot gun glue, transparent glue, or you can sew it on. I'll show you here. It's pretty old and pretty used and pretty beat up, but this is my little gun for it, so I don't care how beat up it is. So I'll be gluing the pineapple onto my base pattern of chair. And like I said, you could also sew it on the edges all the way around, a couple of stitches here and there with the same color, obviously, of your stitching. So we're going to start this. I'll be using a 4-ply. Now this one is exactly the same size as Aunt Lydia number 3 cotton thread. Okay, it has to be used in a thicker thread in order to have bigger production for these type of things. So I'll be using the white just to have it pop up on the pineapple, but you can use whatever color of the pineapple and then your base color, or you can use all in one color. But if you want it to stand out for your favorite color, whatever matches your kitchen or your dining room, then you need the base color to be different, either lighter if you're using a darker shade, or a darker shade for the base and a lighter shade for the pineapple. Okay, so please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. I will also be using a 3.5 or maybe a 4 hook, okay, for this thickness of thread. Pair of scissors, of course, and a smaller one to tuck in loose ends. So don't forget, you need to measure your chair, and as the centimeters, that's how many chain stitch you're going to do. Because I already have done chair covers, I already have my measurements for my chairs, which is 56 56 chain stitch. This will be the measurement of my chairs, but you have to see yours, how yours come to. So mine has, let me just stretch this out here. So mine has 40 centimeters wide, and then of course my length 55 centimeters length. Now you can go as long as you like and as wide as you like, because this stitch will be very similar to this one here. Okay, this is one of the seat covers that I have done. So we're going to get started. Okay, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and don't forget to hit that bell notification. It's extremely important. And of course, share, tag me along. It helps the channel to grow. We are here to help each other. This is the only way we can continue to produce and put it out there if the channel gets recognized. If not, it's a waste of time for us. Okay, thank you so much. Just want to remind you that with this 4-ply, it's a little bit thinner than the one I'm going to use for the chair covers, okay? This one has 40 centimeters. Now, because the other one is almost the same size, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So let's say 45 on my base. So this can really stand out on the base. I want it to have a little bit showing of the background, which it will due to the fact that it's a different color on these things, on the flowers and the motifs and all that. Okay, let's get started, everyone. So I'm going to, I'm not counting stitch at this point. So we're going to do the slip stitch knot. Okay, and I'm just going to do until I get like 45 centimeters on my measuring tape and take it from there. Okay, everyone, so I've done a chain. Like I said, you don't have to count chains. You need to count it. You need to measure it by the measurement of the chair. But just to let you know, so my chair, I'm making it a little bit wider than the other one just to get that motif of the pineapple well into there. So I have 48 centimeters, and I've did 75 chain. Okay, so I'm going, or 76 chain, sorry. I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. On my 5th one, I'm grabbing top loops only, okay? Or you can grab right in the center. Did I get the right one? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes. So I'm going to do a double crochet. We're going to do double crochet all the way through to the end, one per space, and go directly in the center of those loops because you don't want your base to bend like a U shape. So if you're grabbing only one loop, it's going to turn curved like a U shape. We don't want that. Probably have to use a bigger hook on this. So I'll probably use the 4. Okay, let's try this 4. Maybe it's better. It won't grab so much on my stitches. Now, this thread, because it's the same thickness as Aunt Lydia, the difference is this is 80% cotton thread and 20% different other fibers. So, kind of hard sometimes to find. Well, here we don't have in the island the Aunt Lydia number 3, but I know Aunt Lydia because I worked a lot with it when I was in Canada or in the US. And so out here they have different brands. Obviously, it's, you know, the Portugal Brands and different texture of the threads. Okay, so we're going to do one per space all the way to the end. Okay, everyone, so on this one, I've done 80 double crochet, but that's for the measurements that I want in order for the pineapple to fit in the center, so I had to make it a little bit bigger. Now, it's better always to have extra chain than to be short, because with the extra chain, you could always take it down, and if you're too short, you can't increase it, right? So, because I have extra here, of course, I'm not using the proper hook. It's going to take all my threads, but we do what we can, right? So basically, you would just take it down, whatever extra you have, by pulling. Okay, so I've taken it down. Now I'm just going to close it in here, and then we'll tuck in the leftover thread, whatever we have here, through the other loops. Now you want to make sure that you go through quite a few because you don't want it to be pulling apart afterwards, right? Should be good because you could always put a little dip of hot gun glue there at the edge and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I have my 80 double crochet. So you want to make it a little bit bigger than the actual size of the chair. Give it a 2 or 3 more centimeters on each side, right? So we're going to come in the same space because we want to create a straight line with a single and 2 chain into the next space, double crochet, and into the next space, double crochet, 1 chain. I'm going to skip a space and go into the next one. So it's going to be very easy, the chair cover. 1 chain, skip a space into the next one. So we'll have a row of double crochets and a row of these little squares, but always adding 3 all the way to the end here, a line of 3 double crochets to the end. And when we get to the end here, the same thing. We'll be doing 3 double crochets all the way to the end. So it's just a repeat. Skip a space into the next one. This is just a base, but you can use any base. You can use just all double crochets, you can use all half double crochets or singles, but of course, you know, by using just singles or half double crochets, there's much more work because you need the height on it, right? Skip a space into the next one, double crochet, 1 chain space, skip a space, and so on. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the end. I'm going to skip that one and do my 3 last double crochets. So it's always going to be the repeat. Now, for this chair cover, you will need front and back. So you need to create 2 of these in order to have the front and back. So you're going to create the 3 double crochets at the end all the way to the desired length, and always 3 at the beginning, and everything else is, so you have a row of double crochets, a row of squares. So you turn around. You have to be careful not to miss the first one here, because usually we tend to do that. So I'm coming back in the same one, doing a single and 2 chain, next space, double crochet, next space. I created my 3. Now inside of the space, we're going to do double crochet because we've only skipped a space. So that means we've skipped only 1 double crochet. So we must create that double crochet in order to continue with the right size and amount of double crochets. So 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 in the center of the box, 1 on top, 1 in the center of the box. So it's just going to be like that all the way to the end. Next row, you do your 3 double crochets, and then you create the squares. But I'll meet you at the end. So I'm on my last one. Make sure that you do your last one, or your pattern's going to start curving in. It won't be square and straight, right? Of course, my last one is always a tight stitch, so you have to come all the way to the end. Then you turn around and you repeat the same thing again. So you're going to come into the same space, a single and 2 chain. This is what he calls a double crochet. And why do I do a single and 2 chain? So it's not so noticeable when you're doing that chain 3 up. And you create those 3 double crochets at the beginning, and of course at the end. 1 chain space, and then again you go into the next space. So you skip 1. So it's not, and I think I made a mistake here. I forgot to put 1 in there. See, sometimes you can make a mistake without realizing you're making a mistake. Now, usually I don't add it. I show you directly the mistake I make, and it is what it is. Nobody's perfect, right? Let me just take down a few and continue on. Now, I'm sure that a lot of creators that probably, add it and redo it and not show it or whatever. I don't like to do that. I like to show it. I'm only human, so it is what it is. So, okay, back to my single 2 chain. Create your 3 double crochets. Now, I'm probably going to have to mix color because I don't think I will have enough white. And because this will be just a sample for you guys, it's okay. I can mix my color just to finish the tutorial up. There's no issue. Eventually, if I want to create my chair covers, then I can be sure on whatever colors I want, my pineapples and so on and so forth. This is just to show you guys. So, yes, it's still creating a whole chair cover. probably could use it in one little chair in the corner or something. But so you would do 1 row of double crochets. Don't forget, you always need on your next row the 3 double crochets at the beginning and 3 at the end. And do the length that you need. So you continue going on until the length you want. So you know the next row is just double crochets. 1 inside of the space, 1 on top of double crochet, 1 in the space, 1 on top of double crochet, because you need to have the same amounts as we started off. And then here you can't mistake. You need to skip 1. It's going to fall right into the line where we have the double crochet below. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do mine, and the length I need, because obviously the pineapple has length too. You got to give it enough length on the base so you can put your pineapple there and not have the tip of the pineapple hanging out of the chair with no base, right? So you got to make it a little bit bigger than the pineapple. Even if it hangs a little bit more on the chair, that's fine. It's got to look just as beautiful, because at least it's going to cover the whole back right into the seating position. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of mine. Okay, you guys, since this is my sample for this tutorial, because I don't have enough the same color, so I cannot do it completely and keep it. It's a waste of thread for myself. So this, as I told you, to do 2 sides, the same size. Now you have to remember also, when measuring your chair, your back part of the chair, you have to remember, by using Aunt Lydia number 3 for the pineapple, obviously it's big. Sometimes people have different sizes of chair, like smaller backs than others. So on the pineapple, when you start forming the 25 double crochets to create the foundation of the pineapple before the loops, you can cut that down to 20 instead of doing 25 or 18 to make your pineapple smaller if you have a smaller back to the chair. Now, I'm going to put this one in the front, and because I don't have enough threads, either or on this color, or I try to use the cream color. What I did was, in order to succeed, to have at least the length for the pineapple, because it's a big one, and my chair covers are big, there is no more of this thread either. And here on the island, we have to wait for the container to come in of the shipping for all the stores that carry these threads. So lucky for me, I had enough to do one side. I'll use this as a sample for the front, and I will use this one. And in order to have enough thread, what I did was, I couldn't do the same stitch as I did on here. So, and you can do the stitch too, front or back. It's up to you. I mean, there's so many ways to do the stitch, right? So I started with these 3 rows, and then it's just little squares all the way up to desired size, still using the 3 double crochets in the beginning and at the end. Everything else is just little squares. Now, when you come to the end, you must close the same way. Do the same thing as the beginning. And that goes for this pattern too. You must close out with the double crochets. Because I had enough thread on this one for at least the front, I'm going to use this one. So what I'm just going to teach you is, so obviously, you know, we're not crocheting the bottom, because that has to go into the chair, right? But we are going to crochet the top, the side and the top, right? So basically what you would do is, now we can cut our thread here, obviously, because we're gonna close it here. We can cut our thread right at the end, and then start from the side to go all the way to the other side. So I'm just going to cut my thread here. I know it kind of not the best, not having, you know, enough thread to complete the chair cover, but it will be in different colors, obviously. And I didn't want to put too much of different colors so it doesn't really look weird, so you can at least see the effect on the design that it brings out, of course, accordingly to the color of the pineapple that you will use. Like I said, if you're using a darker shade, then use a base light shade. If you're using a light shade for your pineapple, then use a darker shade for the base. You need something to contrast it, right? So, and like I said, you can use this base too if you like. It's just, this one I like because it stands out. Since it's more closed, you can see the pineapple perfectly. Not that you cannot see on this, you'll see it once I'm done and put it on the chair. Okay, so basically, as you can see, I don't even have it finished on double crochets here because I didn't have enough thread. Now, what you want to do is, so I'll use the other way. No, it has to be this way. Okay. So we're going to do okay, so I'm going to put right side with right side, okay? And we're going to start doing single crochets starting from the side, not the bottom. The bottom is to go in the chair. So because I don't have the right size, it doesn't matter. I have the right hook here. Yes. It doesn't matter because this is just a sample. Another thing you can do is you can block your patterns before you go into the next step in order to glue or stitch your pineapple, because then now your pattern will be stretched out. So you go into the side here and you're going to come into where you have your first double crochet here. And you start doing singles, one inside of the space or two. You might need two singles. I think it's best next space. So you could either do two singles inside or, depending upon your stitch, one and one on top where the separation of the rows. I'm going to just do two inside. We're on the side of this, whatever you want to call it, cover, right? I think that's the word. I can't even think of the word. Imagine that. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do my singles until I meet my rows here, so then I can add them together to close them in. Okay, you guys, so I have right side with right side. Obviously, you will have yours the same size as this. I had to do my singles because I don't have the other side. So you would put both of them right side with right side. And I'm coming into the next one. So I'll be doing the attachment on both patterns. So two per space, nothing changes. Just make sure you got the right space on there to have the attachments. And why we're doing right side with right side, because we got to flip it over and this line of singles will stay in the inside, right? So you're going to have a nice, let me do a few more and show you. I don't think I can show you like this. Okay, so two per space, not complicated at all. So you'd measure them exactly row with row because they're the same size front and back. Now I'm just doing a sample because since it's such a high demand, unfortunately I don't have enough of this size thread to complete, and by using my normal small thread it would take forever and a waste of my time and stretching my thread out for this tutorial. So it would take forever because obviously it's a thinner thread. There's a lot of rows to do, right, with thinner thread in order to accomplish that size. So we're not going to go crazy on that. This will do the same tutorial and gives you guys a chance to just see how it's all put together. So you have front and back, you're doing singles, attaching both of them. Obviously, when we are done, obviously, this will be turned like that, right? And look how perfect it looks. So the singles will stay on the inside. So we're going to continue this all the way to the corner, and then I'll meet you at the corner. Okay, you guys, so we reached the corner. I'm going to do 4 singles on the corner just to get that curve going so it doesn't pull too much. Even if you have to do 5, that's fine. And then we are going to do 1 per space here on the double crochets. Obviously, I don't have double crochet on the next one, so I'm just going directly into the space and on top of the double crochet. That will be the same thing, right? Because my front and back are not the same thing. Okay, so we're going to continue to do that, and then no difference on the side when we get here. Close it up, okay? And then just single crochet on the bottom one all the way around on both of the patterns without closing, obviously, because we need to fit it into the chair. And then the last thing is just gluing the pineapple on. So I'm going to continue mine by doing 1 double crochet, 1 single on top of the double crochets on both patterns, obviously. And then repeat the same thing here, 2 per space, exactly like we did here. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so once you've closed the other side completely all the way down, obviously I don't have enough, so I can't close both sides. I only did half just to fit into the chair. So you'd close until here. Now you would have to turn your pattern to the right side. So once you've closed there, then you would turn it to the right side and do your single on the right side all the way around on the opening of the chair, right? Because we have to put it from here. So then you would just do your singles, 1 per space, and the same thing, you would just continue 2 on the same space here. Well, actually, you're going to have it's the double crochet, so it's 1 per space all the way around, because you're going to have it on here too, 1 per space. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch a bit my pineapple on, because I will use that pineapple for another thing, because I don't have enough thread. There's no point in me wasting that pineapple, but I will stitch it on here and place it on the chair. And you will notice that, of course, the front is shorter and the back is a little bit longer because the pineapple is long. Let me get you the pineapple and explain to you better for the size. Okay, so if you need to make the pineapple smaller in order to fit properly on your chair, then instead, when you're doing the pineapple, instead of doing 25 double crochets here, you can do 20 or 18 or 16, so it can be shorter, so it can fit into the back of your pattern, okay, depending upon the measurements of your chair, which is very simple. Like I said, you can use this base or you can use this base. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch it on, and this pretty much does it for this tutorial. Thank you so much to every single one of you. God bless, and I will have the pictures in a little video at the end so you can see how it fits perfectly into the chair. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Sending much love, much hugs to everyone. Bye-bye. Till next time.